Thank you very much, gentlemen. As they mentioned, LMS's Flash Wolves coming out on top in that game against G2. But another game that, you know, honestly, at many different points looked like it could have gone to either team. And Deficio, I got to come to you first because you had high hopes for a G2 that came out and played like they did in the playoffs. However, had some reservations around would they be practiced enough.
Right.
What is your conclusion now after one whole game?
This kind of game, like this style G2 plays in playoffs and also back in the regular season, is this kind of game we see here, except you remove a lot of their very stupid mistakes they make and very over-aggressive calls, because they got much better at understanding when they had the lead, how to close it out, a little bit slower maybe. This is a game where we're going back to almost the start of the split. And this really tells me like there are some coordination problems, but this is also a team who just completely overreacts and gets way too hyped in a game like this. And Flash Wolves every single time is just punishing them, and they played so well.
Yeah, exactly. I think coming into the ban pick phase, like Flash Wolves was a little bit on the back foot. They didn't ban the Trundle, which they banned the entire playoffs. And also, nobody actually targets Sword Art like that. Like, it's never happened before. So you really see them NL lane being completely shut down by the G2 ban pick. Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. I also thought that when I looked at Emperor's item build, that they were kind of G2, they had very strong windows where they could win this. But one thing that I talk about a lot is if you are a 500 range, 80 carry pretty much in your Lucian, against Azir specifically, you need to pick up early lifesteal and a QSS because his slow is really, really brutal against Lucian. And he also just, you have to be able to sustain through it, right? So I feel like G2 kind of rushed their game plan. They thought we have until 25 minutes until we make these plays, and they were executing on them well. But instead of being 8,000 gold up, they were making mistakes, and it kept it about 5,000 gold. And then they just left the bathroom window open for Flash Wolves to be able to crawl back into the house.
So let's bring the pick ban conversation full circle and kind of establish what we've arrived at here. And Deficio, I think a lot of people would look at G2's composition and say, well, what the heck are they doing? They don't have a single champion here that can really engage, unless you got a Flash Rune Prison by Rise. And we don't have a ton of wave clears. So what on earth were they thinking crafting this comp?
So I personally don't believe you need to have a checklist saying like, do you have wave clear? Check. Do you have engage? Check to make a good composition. This kind of comp here from G2, the plan is very simple. The reason they first picked Kindred is because they want a better early game jungler in terms of ganking their lanes to snowball their lanes. So they put Kai'Sa on the Graves and saying, we're going to be better early game than you. The reason they didn't draft the Janna and not an engaged support is because they want to have the stronger 2v2 lane, but by having double range, they want to have the stronger 1v1 with a Trundle. So again, no engage, because the way G2 plays is 1-3-1 with double teleport or a kill lane from perks like a Zed. So basically, they don't care about engaging, they don't care about wave clearing right now. They care about the fact that they have a stronger early game by having 2 winning side lanes that will opt into 1-3-1 and snowball the game out of control. And it looked very, very good. They were basically winning this game without ever having to engage a fight, and then they start throwing it away, basically.
Winning lane, strong early game, 1-3-1, and decisive calls from G2. That's where I want to go next. We saw very early on, I mean, Europe as a region will take early Barons. They did exactly that in this game. They're not afraid to pull the trigger. We've got a replay of that, them securing their first Baron of the game. And this is where, you know, a lot of it, we were looking at the analyst out here saying this is where they may have just won the game.
Yeah, and this is like a very standard play again from G2. They've actually already messed up a little bit, but they say, okay, we're still in the game, we're still in the driving seat, rush the Baron and take it down in time. And then the remaining fight, you can see Mabel on the wrong side of the wall here, couldn't really do much, and Flash Wolves thought maybe they could get more. But yeah, this is before everything is lost almost for G2. And then we start seeing more and more of these extremely weird plays, like Trick flashing over a wall between 2 towers and trying to one-on-one a Graves. It's like, that's also almost in disrespecting, and that's wrong.
To be honest, Flash Wolves really did play a lot off of G2's mistakes this game, so I think the conclusion between who's the better mid, Maple and Perks, is still up in the air. I think this was really G2 just going a little bit too aggressive, but I have to say Flash Wolves, they really punished every chance they got.
But and that's my problem, right? If you're saying that you don't need a checklist to play the comp, what you need is a checklist during the game of what your comp actually does then. And what G2 did is they're like, 25 minutes, there was lots of question marks, and they kind of just threw it out the window and kept running their head into a door.
Real quick, I want to throw us into our final replay, and this is back to your point about Flash Wolves capitalizing on G2 mistakes, over-aggression, and they kind of proved that, hey, we let you get the Baron the first time, but we'll be just as decisive in our reactionary play as we move through the rest of the game. So here's going to pull up on your screen right now.
Yeah, so this game is, this is actually G2 rushing the Baron and at this point, Flash Wolves is missing a back, but it's still very risky at this point because all 5 Flash Wolves members are still around the pit completely. And you can see they get cut off. 2 members are in the pit, and you see on the left side, 3 are just cut out. And even Karsa does a little dance right there on top of Trix.
And this is the thing I want to point out. When you look at that replay, Kikis's teleport is up. He's the person that hits the Baron the first. Why is he even on that side of the map? Like,
yes.
Set up the slow push, make sure that your team is in a winning position, because when they were actually drawing the map apart, they were capitalizing on the decisiveness and taking advantage of some Flash Wolves overreaches every now and again.
Another pretty back and forth game, but the Flash Wolves are going to be very happy with that victory in game 2 of the day. Now for an inside look, though, at Flash Wolves' first win here at MSI, we're going to send it down to Shocks.
Well, thank you very much, Dash. I'm joined here by Maple, the man in the mid lane, as well as Max assisting for the translation. Maple, congratulations, a win for the Flash Wolves here in game 1. We know that you guys are a fantastic team, and you, Maple, together with Karsa are such a strong duo, but we were really looking at what Trick and Perks coming out of Europe's G2 could do. How do you think you guys played in the early game versus those two?
Maple， 首先恭喜你们闪电狼赢得第1场比赛。那你跟 Karsa 是 LMS 很有名的中野，那 Perks 跟 Trick 是 EU 很有名的中野。那你觉得游戏的前期你们两个互相对位的如何？
我觉得他们的中野很强，但是因为我们是子方，所以我可以选择阿奇尔来压制像是雷兹这种前期比较弱的角色，所以我觉得我们2打2在角色上是比较有优势的。
So their jungle mid is really good too, but we got the red side, so we have the counter pick, and Myazir was able to counter their rise, and I think two versus 2 we had the better advantage.
Had a better advantage, yet it turned out to be a very long game, a lot of fights. Why do you think you guys ended up winning the game in the end?
对，你们是有优势没错，可是最后结果这比赛时间是蛮长的。那你觉得你们最后赢的原因是什么？
我觉得最后获胜的关键应该是雷兹在后期大家都认为很强，但其实雷兹在后期的团战是跟阿奇尔比的话是输很多的。
I think the crucial part is Rise is usually regarded as the really good late game champ, but comparing to Azir has better team fight. That's how we won.
All right, and that is 1 win for you guys here. Maple, we know the Flash Wolves as a team very well, but there has been some changes since we last saw you at the World Championship, where you also got through the group stage. Now Stake is your coach. How, in your mind, has the team changed here, and how do you come here to this international tournament? How strong are you guys?
他说，上一届世界赛的时候，闪电狼也进8强，然后现在 Stake 转战成为教练。那你觉得现在闪电狼跟当初闪电狼有什么差别？
我们一开始把 Stake 换掉之后，我觉得我们的 Caller 是相当令我们头疼的。在我们季初的时候，我们成绩很不好，因为我们的 Call 实在是很差，所以我们在季中的时候就慢慢调整，让我们的 Jungle 跟 Support 来进行 Call。然后上路的话，咪咪蛋是操作比较好的选手。这样。
I think when the season first started, because we lost Slake and he's our shot caller, and we were kind of lost for a sec. But then our jungle and support pick up the calling duties, and MMD is a pretty good top with good mechanics, and so we become a better team.
Well, you had a great split so far in the LMS, even beating AHQ, which must have been very important to you guys. And for maybe one of the first times, you guys are not regarded as an underdog at all, but people have high hopes for you guys in this tournament. How does that change the way you mentally play here?
他说 LMS 你们总冠军赛的时候打败 HQ 是非常强劲的队伍，然后你们表现得非常好。那以前来讲，闪电狼都会被认为是比较弱势的队，可是现在被认为是大热门。然后你们队伍是怎么想的？
我认为 LMS 的整体水平没有那么高，所以大家看 LMS 可能看到后面几队会觉得 LMS 是非常弱的区域，但其实就只是整体水平就是差很多，可能前4队跟后面的队伍是差非常多的这样。
So I think LMS, like if people look at the last few teams, they will think LMS is a weaker region, but the truth is like the first few teams are quite a lot stronger, and that's what he thinks.
Yeah, definitely, and you guys showed it here. First win on the day for the LMS's Flash Wolves. Congratulations, Maple. Fantastic start to the tournament for the Flash Wolves, but we are just moments away from seeing the world champion take to the stage, SK Telecom, as they go up against Supermassive. There's more MSI coming your way right after this, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, in Shanghai for the Mid-Season Invitational title. Essence Reaper's doing work. The monsoon's up. Kikis is diving. MSI's games are delivering. They are going further. Now Hybrid's in trouble. Source goes down. Emperor hasn't killed NL yet. Dashes forward, finds the kill. Emperor's dividing Glacial Fissure by some time. But how much can Flash Wolves take?
Trick could also steal. This is going to be another thing.
And it's stolen! Another Baron steal! The team fight's going to break out. Kikis is taking a lot of damage. Trick is going to buy as much time as he can with Lamb's respite, but it's Carter that comes out victorious. The Flash Wolves take down G2 for the first win at MSI 2016.